Hey, how you doing? Happy Sunday. Duff here. And Hurricane Ada, well, it's not a hurricane yet, but they're saying that it could turn into one, is on its way. As of now, it is supposed to sort of graze the bottom of Florida, kind of go south of the Keys, go out into the Gulf, and then do a hook and come back, and it'll probably impact Florida again later in the week. So that's kind of crazy. Not only is the path crazy, the fact that we are approaching mid-November and we're still talking about tropical weather down here in Florida. It's never happened to me since I've lived here for 20 years. So crazy, man. It's crazy. So Cindy and I did take some precautions today. We picked up a bunch of stuff that was potentially hazardous outside, pots, plants, other things we found in the landscape. We have it tucked away. I think the primary impact on Florida will be rain. Lots of rain. It's been raining most of the day today, and it's probably going to be rainy almost all week, I think, unfortunately. So yeah, not great. And needless to say, it did not give me an opportunity to go out and ride any EUCs today. And you astute observers, and maybe not even, you don't have to be that astute, may see that I just put my MSX in a box. And usually there's only one reason that you're doing that, right? I guess I am selling my MSX. And let's talk about that. Now let's turn this light off. I know this light looks like shit on camera. Maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. So anyways, those of you that are regular viewers of the channel, you probably know that I'm buying a veteran Sherman. And those of you that know veteran Shermans know that veteran Shermans are expensive. So I am selling my MSX. I wouldn't have to do this, but I'm trying to be a more responsible adult, I guess. You know, having let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Having 5 EUC should be enough for me, I think. So the Sherman will be number 6. The Sherman will be able to do pretty much anything the MSX does, and better, except being carried upstairs. So I have decided to sell it. Now, I haven't actually listed this on a forum or anything, anywhere for sale. I'm actually selling this to Igor. You guys may remember the name Igor. He was the gentleman that came down from Philadelphia with his son, Landon, and I rode around with him. And one of the things that we rode when he was down was this exact MSX. And he really liked it. So anyway, when I first was thinking about buying the Sherman, I don't even remember how it came up. If I just threw it out there to Igor, or if he asked me something about it, I don't really recall how this came to be. But we got talking about, hey, would you be interested in my MSX? He has, I don't know how many wheels he's bought at this point, quite a few. And he was looking to graduate to a higher power wheel, and since he actually got to ride this MSX himself, it seemed like a good fit. And it helps me out as far as helping to offset some of the expense, certainly not all of it, but some of the expense for the veteran Sherman. And this was actually something we talked about doing a while ago. Man, it might be a couple months ago. Something came up on Igor's side, and it didn't happen. And I didn't really think about it, and to be quite honest with you, I was just going to bite the bullet and not sell the MSX and have the Sherman at the same time. But lo and behold, today, Igor sent me a message and said, hey, yeah, I worked things out on my end, and I'm still interested in buying the MSX, so do you want to sell it? So after thinking about it a little bit, I responded back to Igor and I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's do the transaction. So that's what we're doing. I am packing up the MSX right now, and it should be on its way to Igor this week. Okay, here she goes. This means that the only Gotway wheel that I will have in my collection is my good old Gotway M10-3 sitting right over there. That's it. Doesn't mean I won't get a Gotway wheel in the future, but I don't see me buying one soon. That's pretty clear. And you may ask, do you have any regrets, or, was it a tough decision to sell the MSX? Yeah, a little bit. This has been a great wheel. I love this wheel. I think actually on stream several months ago, I said that if I had to only have one wheel out of my collection of wheels that I had, it would be the MSX, because of the high speed rating and the battery performance. I don't really have to worry about ever approaching the limits of what I'm comfortable riding with this wheel. And that's still true. The only difference now is I'll have that same situation with a veteran Sherman, even more so actually. So it's all good. It's all good. All right, Igor, I think we're ready to go here, bud. All I gotta do is weigh it, and if things go as planned, as long as the whole area doesn't shut down due to the storm tomorrow, I hopefully will have this in UPS's hands tomorrow. And if I did buy a Gotway motor or a Gotway wheel in the future, more than likely it would be a wheel that has the hollow motor design, right? Because that's all the Gotway is going to be using from here on out. And that actually led into something else that I talked about briefly on my Halloween live stream. And just something I wanted to talk about formally here is my opinion is that hollow motors, they have a lot of good things about them. In Gotway's situation, I think the best thing is it allows them to get away from that terrible pedal hanger design. Has a side effect of the axles loosening and having to take the wheel apart to tighten the axle nuts. Inmotion's going to it. KingSong, as far as I know, it does not have plans to go to the hollow motor design. And the more that I've thought about it, the more that I've come to the conclusion that I think hollow motors are going to have a persistent issue, no matter if it's Inmotion that's doing it, KingSong, or KingSong Gotway, or Begode, however you say their name nowadays. I think there's going to be an issue, and I think that issue is going to be bearing failure. I think we're going to have a lot of bearing failures with hollow motors. I think there's several reasons for that. Hollow motor bearings, the material itself is much thinner than a conventional bearing, and it has far more surface area. Here's a regular bearing, here's a hollow motor bearing. Having that thinner and more prevalent surface area and the bigger diameter does two things, in my opinion. It makes it much more important to be using quality bearings because of something that is thinner and larger like that. Top quality bearings are going to be crucial. And the reason for that, and we're seeing this in the real world, is those hollow motor bearings are pushed further out towards the edge of the wheel. So they are closer to water, to dirt, to whatever contaminants the wheel is exposed to, significantly closer. They're going to fail unless the manufacturers start really putting high quality bearings in those wheels. We're going to see a bunch of bearing failures in hollow motors. That's my opinion. We already have seen them in the V11s, and even the brand new Gotway RS is having bearing failures. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think the bearings that I saw in the RS were the metal cap, not even the rubber seal bearings. So I think that's going to be an issue. Just my opinion. We'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong, because replacing bearings is not going to be any more fun than tightening axle nuts. It might even be less fun than tightening axle nuts. So hopefully that is not the case, and hopefully the EUC manufacturers do something to toughen up those bearings to make them not the weak point of the wheel. We shall see. So all right, guys, that's all I really wanted to talk about for now. Sorry there's no official ride video. The 360 video I shot on this at the Swamp last week, it was pretty well received. There was some issues with the video quality. Even if you had it at max resolution, which is like 5.7K or something like that, because there is so much visually going on at the Swamp, you just couldn't help but get pixelation for part of the video. It still did look cool in my Oculus Quest. I did watch it back in my Quest, and some other people said it looked cool, but it still is not as clean as I would like it to be. I don't know if there's anything I could do to fix that, because not only am I, exporting that file, but then it's getting fed into YouTube, and it's doing its own compression on the file. So I'm not sure how possible it is to make it really clean and crisp with a 360 video, but I'll look into it some more. But I appreciate the feedback. So, hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully Ada is a memory soon, just like the 2020 election. I'm glad that's behind us. Well, sort of, but glad that's behind us. And that's all I have for now. Hope you guys have a great week. Until next time, Duffman out. Oh boy, 65 pounds. That should be cheap to ship, right? Super cheap to ship.